You're watching New Car Spin. That is the Toyota Tundra TRD Pro Hybrid. This is the Ram 1500 Limited. Now, this one, if you pay attention, has a 4,500 RPM redline and a distinct sound when it idles. So something tells me it's not the V8 that you can get. Instead, I think, oh yeah, you can tell. That's a diesel. This truck is very unique, and if you didn't get the diesel version, you'd get two options of a V8 where it used to be. There is definitely an e-torque V8 available, which is actually a hybrid, and Ram was the first to bring in a V8 hybrid to the United States, with the exception of Audi. They both brought the same system, which is a starter alternator in the housing bell setup for the V8 hybrids, but the Toyota one is definitely different. But what I want to talk about here is these vehicles, because it's very interesting the way we have morphed from internal combustion to electric. And I do think electric pays off in certain cases. Obviously, there is a full electric truck available from other manufacturers. Rivian has the truck, and Ford has the Lightning, and whatever. There's a bunch of competition out there for an electric truck, but you can only tow like 20 miles in those electric trucks, whereas in this diesel you can go as far as you want, or as far as your bladder can handle, because that's what these are made for. So this is what I want to get at with today's video, because I've been doing automotive journalism for about 7 years. I am on the board of Texas Motor Press Association. Let's get back in the truck and get out of their way. And the way things are going, I'm kind of getting disenfranchised with everything. Manufacturers have cut back due to the chip shortage. They've cut back due to supply and demand issues. And I'm so glad, though, that we can still get a diesel in the Ram, because this is a beautiful truck. It's different from the Tundra. Obviously, this is much more expensive than the Tundra. But the reality is, 98 grand if you were to get the V8 version of the Limited. And that's worst case scenario, maybe. I don't know who pays over sticker, but you're going to in some cases. Anyway, where we're getting at here is these vehicles. Let's pull over here. This looks like a good shot. Put it in park. Turn this off. I do like the texture here. They've updated the Ram since it was launched. I went to the launch. It was nice, but this is even nicer. That's nice too. That's, speaking of hybrids, that's the 4x4E. So today we're at this off-road event for Texas Motor Press Association, where we're driving off-road vehicles, the latest you can buy. And that kind of brings me on the point. Diesel, hybrid. Obviously there's no full EV truck here today because this is Texas. But the way it's going is, what people don't realize is these vehicles, whether they're hybrid or non-hybrid, they run on air. And you might be thinking I'm crazy and high, but I've been at this logic for quite a while now. Yes, they run on air because fuel only works with air, and it's 1 part fuel, 14 parts air for the most part. And now we're transitioning from full-on internal combustion or hybrid to full electric. And if you think about what full electric means, it means it doesn't need air to run. So instead of using a mixture of fuel and air to create combustion and then drive along and get on your way, you need full power, which means you're consuming full power. And where does it come from? And where does that power source get its power from? It doesn't matter. The reality is you need 100% power, or power source or fuel, to move your vehicle along. And the funny thing is, stick with me now, in order to do that, what they say is there are no side effects with electric vehicles. Now, some of you say, yeah, well, what about the power, the coal power plant or this power plant? Put that all aside. The vehicle itself. And if you think about the marketing strategy or the dichotomy of these EVs, it's basically no different than the drug industry, pharmaceuticals, because they always talk about the side effects because they're required to talk to you about side effects, unless, of course, it's a certain shot that you're getting for a certain nonsense. But think about the fact that when you hear about these diesel trucks or the hybrid vehicles or anything that's not full EV, when you actually get an EV to drive, they never tell you that there are any side effects. So they've adopted the pharmaceutical model to make it seem like there's a side effect with this, right? To make you feel like this is inadequate or inferior to be the latest and greatest. And that's where the automotive industry is heading. And I think that's highly unfortunate because there is nothing wrong with this truck. There's nothing wrong with any of the vehicles that you just saw here in this video. And the reality is, you know, it's very easy to get fuel, put the fuel in the tank and get on your way and get as far as you need to go, especially when you're out in the middle of nowhere. But if you run out of power in your EV, what are you going to do? I hope you have a way to protect yourself from whatever animals are going to be out here that might want to have an interest in you. So, yeah, the automotive industry is turning, and I think that you need to stay tuned and pay close attention to where things are going, because there might be a subtle climb for power heavy consumers like EVs, but in reality, this setup right here is what's going to keep the world turning. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, more videos to come. See ya.